Apple has registered. Am I correct? Now nobody needs to tell you A, P, P, L, E, Apple, because the registration process has already happened. Okay? After some time, if I say, the apple fell on Newton's head, by the time you're 5 or 6, when you're learning probably the first lessons on the laws of gravity, the apple fell on Newton's head. This may take a little time to register, but by the time you reach 8 or 9, the apple fell on Newton's head is very easy to register. Am I right? So what is concentration and memory? The registration process becomes faster. The Vivekananda, he used to read with so much concentration a particular paragraph, a particular page, no diversion of thoughts, complete concentration, and with that singular focus of mind energy, all your thoughts are nothing but energy. And I'll give you an example of how to do it also. So we're going to discuss practical tips, it's not just theory. He would remember the entire para, the page registration would happen in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes, the entire page would be registered and he would go to the next page. This was the power of concentration of Swami Vivekananda. In modern science, you all have heard of laser surgery. What is laser surgery? A concentrated beam of energy in one direction is giving you unbelievable results. That is the science of laser surgery. Okay? You all enjoyed the lecture, feeling a little hot? Yeah. So I put you through Bikram Yoga also simultaneously. Besides giving you a lecture. Okay? So you are feeling a little hot, please bear with me. But the subject I promise will be interesting. Alright? Now look at the way the mind works. I'm going to give you a simple 2-minute technique and then I'm going to enter full foray into the corporate world. I'm going to share my experiences in the corporate world with each one of you. Okay? That will bring a smile on your face. Trust me. 99% of the human mind works in what we call, in our technical lingo, an association pattern. What do I mean by association pattern? Simple example. And this is how 99.99% of the minds are working on the planet right now. You will also realize after I tell you why am I saying so. I'm crossing the road. I'm giving you a simple example. I'm crossing the road. A guy riding a bike is coming at great speed towards me. And I fear he may probably knock me down. So I step back a little bit. And when I step back a little bit, I'm reminded of an incident which happened in my school where a biker knocked me off the road when I was 7 years old. Okay? Now see how the mind is working. The biker is there today, but my mind has gone back to an incident when I was 7 or 8 years old in school and a biker similarly was speeding and he knocked me off the road. After it goes to school, my mind goes to my school friends. Who were my friends in school? My good friends. After it goes to my school friends, it goes further to when I passed out in school and I had my first girlfriend in college. Now see, okay, the mind is traveling. From there, it goes to the first movie I went with my girlfriend. From there, it goes further to how long our relationship started, with which of my friends in college I got off very well, and I did business with one of them as my partners. Now look at the mind. It has traveled from an incident which happened on the road, right to your school, to your college, to your girlfriend, to the first movie, to further God knows where. By the end of 15 minutes, you will realize where you started and where you ended has no connection at all. The incident was something which happened on the road, but the mind traveled in a matter of 10-15 minutes to different places. This is called the association pattern of thinking. Association. Mind is traveling, it is rudderless, it is directionless, energy is scattered all over the place. And again, science is saying, not Baba Vivek Shetty, science is saying 70,000 to 80,000 thoughts your mind gets per day on an average. Imagine how much energy is there. And every thought has got energy. And most of the thoughts are scattered. Draining of energy, the ship is rudderless and directionless. So from association pattern, you go one level higher. Now this is the practical tip. Please pay careful attention to this. How do you discipline your mind without fighting with your mind, without trying to control it too aggressively? Gradually you evolve to a higher orbit. I'm using the word evolve. The operative word is evolve. Because if you tell the mind not to do something, the mind may do, what? I'll give you a live experiment. You come please, you're smiling a lot. Come. Come. I like people with big broad smiles. Come. I'm glad our morning interaction brought a smile on your face. What's your name? Shushmita, not say. Okay, good. Just joke. Pujari, okay. You speak Kannada, Tulu, what do you speak? Tulu Varpul, okay. Excellent. Please give her a mic. Mr. Disso, you're also from Bangalore, no? Goa, okay. Shushmita, please hold the mic close to your mouth. We're going to have fun, relax, okay? No marks here, good fun, okay? Hold the mic close to your mouth. You trust me with your eyes closed? You trust me, right? Close your eyes. Don't think of a black elephant for the next 10 seconds. Don't think of a black elephant for the next 10 seconds. Open your eyes, please. What images came to your mind? What was the color of the elephant?
Black.
I told you not to think of a black elephant. That black elephant only came. Okay. Excellent. Big round of applause for Shushmita. What did I do with Shushmita? I indirectly programmed the subconscious mind to think of a black elephant. So this is how the mind operates. If you take, the mind is like a monkey. In Sanskrit we call it Markata. Markata means monkey mind, and most people today are operating with monkey minds because they know nothing about the mind. Yeah? If you tell the mind not to do this, the first thing it may do is, run in that direction. So I told her not to think of a black elephant, it ran in that direction. So the operative word is not control the mind. Take your mind to a higher orbit through the process of evolution. Now what do I mean? Evolution and how to do it. The practical tip. I told you will have understood association pattern of thinking, right? From association you go one notch higher, you evolve by getting into contemplation. What do I mean by contemplation? A scientist is working on a space project, suppose, and he is very, very academically oriented. For the next 30 minutes when he is working on the project, every thought will be about that space project only. Even if another thought comes, which is highly possible, he will tell, I don't want to entertain this thought. I will stick to my project. So it's like a beautiful girl knocking at your door and inviting you for dinner, and you say maybe not today, tomorrow. Yeah, today I'm working on this project. She may get a little disappointed, but gradually she will be happy with you. Don't worry. So, contemplation mein kya ho raha hai? What is happening in contemplation? When you are focusing on a project and every thought is about the project, try this for 20 minutes every day. Take anything what you like. Anything that appeals to your mind, please take up that project. Every thought for 20 minutes or even 15 minutes should be about that project. If any other thought comes, don't panic, don't worry. Come back to the project. This is called contemplation. Once you practice this, you move from association to contemplation. Contemplation means now the mind and every thought is in a specified orbit. It is not rudderless, it is not directionless, there is no drain of energy, energy is within a particular orbit. From contemplation, now you have to evolve one notch higher, and that is concentration. What is concentration? Simple. Now this technique you all can do at home also. Make a dot on the wall or any board at eye level contact. Make a dot. Focus on that dot without straining your eyes, but don't bat your eyelids. If you bat your eyelids, you get time to think. I don't want to give you time to think. Because if you get
On behalf of the management of Aditya School of Business Management, faculty, staff and students, I would sincerely like to thank Mr. Vivek Shetty for coming over here on the first day of the students' gathering, that's Prabandhan 2023, and sharing his experience, not just textbooks experience, but even out of textbook, what students can do And I think it's a lot of things for the students which can take away from here and in their journey for the next 2 years. Thank you so much, Mr. Shetty, and the management for providing this platform. Thank you.
Time to think, your mind will wander. You do this for 1-2 minutes every day, as long as you're comfortable without straining your eyes, you will develop concentration. Now what has happened is, even the orbit has gone, there is only one dot. Orbit has also gone. So the mind cannot move in an orbit also, it has to focus on that dot. And the highest level, from association to contemplation to concentration, and the final goal, which we all have heard of, is meditation. Once you achieve meditation, in the real sense of the term, it gives you access to the operating system of your own computer. We all know computers have a hardware and they have a software. And they have a operating system, you are aware of it? The operating system may be Windows, in case of Apple it may be something else, but there is an operating system. And once you gain access to the operating system, you can do miracles in your life, because now the mind is not the master, the mind is your servant. In most cases, the mind is the master. So I can move my hand like this when I want. I can move my legs wherever I want. The commentary of the mind doesn't stop even when I go to bed at night. Am I correct? Yeah? These are simple techniques which you can use to first move from association to contemplation, contemplation to concentration, and finally meditation. Joshua, come here. I'm going to talk to you about meditation, and I'm going to give him also a simple 2-minute experiment which we'll do. Can I have a mic here, please? How much more time do we have? We have time. Oh. All of you are not feeling hot, I hope. Comfortable? You're a little hesitant, the lady in the green there. You're comfortable, right? Yeah. Smile, it's health for you. Yes, Joshua. So you are one of the dynamic participants this morning. Yeah? Do you know anything about the word meditation?
Meditation, okay. Breathing?
Okay. Somewhere close. I'll ask you a question. Suppose Joshua has a beautiful house. I enter his living room. Okay? And you've got some beautiful designer furniture in the room. I start removing the furniture one by one.
Okay.
I take them out of their living room and put them outside your house, in the garage in the building below.
Okay.
So I clear the furniture one by one. What is the first thing you notice in the room after I clear the furniture?
Floor?
Floor. Anything else you noticed about the room?
Walls?
Walls. If there were beautiful girls in the room, would you have noticed them?
Yes.
Yes. Good. Good. Okay. Did you suddenly notice that there was a lot of space in the room?
Yeah, it's opened up.
It's opened up.
Yeah.
Did I create space?
Yes.
I created space.
By removing the furniture as a part.
Did I add more space to the room?
Yes.
The space is still the same. I have only cleared the furniture.
Furniture.
I have not made the room any bigger.
No.
The furniture has got cleared.
Yeah.
And that is why it appears more spacious now.
Yeah.
Now substitute the furniture for your thoughts. Substitute the furniture for your thoughts. Once all those unwanted clutter is cleared, the thoughts, the monkey mind, what remains, the space you get, is meditation. This is the simple, most practical definition of meditation. So the obvious question is, can we ever reach that stage where we are in absolute, thoughtless existence? I am telling you, you are already doing it. Each one of you is experiencing meditation every day in life without realizing you are experiencing meditation. And why is this so important? Please stay for a minute more. I want you on. Why is this so important? When you are in a state of deep sleep, what is deep sleep? As per neuroscientists again, not as per Baba Vivek Shetty. Okay? As per neuroscientists again, there could be 3 stages of sleep. One is when you are lying on the bed, trying to sleep, but you are not being able to sleep. Thoughts are still coming. If my teacher asks questions about what Vivek Shetty spoke to yesterday, will I be able to answer them? I was sleeping through half of it. that thought could also come this evening. Yeah? Or if you are very attentive, you will be very happy. You will say, let her ask me a few questions. These thoughts could come. The second stage is when you are sleeping but you are dreaming. You all have experienced dreams? Yes. The third state is when there is no thought and there is no dream, there is not even a thought that I am sleeping. If you are having a thought that you are sleeping, it means you are not sleeping. You are awake. There is no thought that I am sleeping. And that state is called the state of deep sleep. There are no dreams. We all of us experience it for some time in the night. Maybe for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. That is essentially your meditative state. But it is happening to you by default. What the yogis and what these people who are practicing meditation in the most serious way are doing is they are being able to achieve these states in daily life as and when they want it. And scientists have told us that when you practice meditation for some duration every day, 5 or 10 minutes, gamma rays are emitted to a large extent from your brain. Gamma rays are supposed to signify the highest level of happiness. And you become disease free largely. 80% of diseases that human beings suffer from today are diseases produced by the mind for the body. It is called disease by the people, for the people, of the people, psychosomatic conditions. Alright? Now, another small experiment with Joshua, and then we'll go into the corporate world. I'm done with the mind, and most of you, I think I've given you a preliminary insight into how the mind works. Joshua, now all of you all can answer this question in your own minds. When a train comes to a platform, do the passengers come because of the train, or does the train come because of the passengers?
It is the goal where the person needs to reach. That is why he's traveling to the.
My question is very specific and pointed. When a train comes to a platform, do the passengers come because of the train, or does the train come because of the passengers? Which is true? The train comes because of the passengers. Okay. Anybody else would like to answer this question? You can raise your hands and answer from wherever you are. Does the train come because of the passengers, or do the passengers come because of the train? Yes. Both. So they are in a matrimony. Both are coming together. Okay. Interesting answer. Now the reality here is, there is a third aspect to this, and that is the timetable. The train follows the timetable, and the passengers also follow the timetable. Even if there are no passengers on the train, on the platform, the train will come as per the timetable. Am I right? So the third reality is the most significant reality of life. What I say, we are today in this room. You cannot come here from nowhere. Neither can I be speaking to you from nowhere. Mr. Brian knows exactly the sequence of how the things happened and how I eventually came here to speak. But I've come here because of a third reality. And that third reality, like the timetable on the platform, is the energy timetable. I spoke to you about energy. Unless the energies decide that we are moving in a particular direction and we have to meet, this session cannot happen. Vivek Shetty cannot come. Maybe somebody would have had some reason to avoid this session. But the energy timetable has brought us together, and that is why we are here. So in a certain sense, our energies are connected. I am going to explain to you what is connection of energies, and this is also a management lesson for you. I will tell you how. In management, they say if one person enters a room, somebody may observe 20 things, somebody may observe 5 things, somebody may observe 8 things. Your power of observation and your power of concentration determines your success. Okay, we'll have one more person. Thank you very much. A big round of applause for Joshua. You come. You've been a smart anchor this evening, introducing all of us. You've been very kind to us with your words. Thank you. Now all of you all can answer this question yourselves, okay? It's an interesting experiment. And you can try it on your friends also. Yeah? This tissue paper was, not stage managed from anywhere. I borrowed it from here. Yeah? So there's no magic trick. I'm not P.C. Sorkar. Yeah? I'm not going to produce a rabbit out of a hat. What do you see in this paper?
4 dots divided in 2 parts.
Anything else? Okay. He's not wrong at all. Whatever he said is, from a practical point of view, absolutely right. But there can be another way of looking at things, and I want to share the other way of looking at things. I'm just going to open your perspectives to new directions. That's all we're doing. We're going to have good fun. What is the paper made of? Before it came into paper form, what was responsible for creating this paper?
Many things,
Many.
such as the raw materials, the machinery,
Where did the raw material come from?
the paper, the wood.
Yes, madam, you were saying something?
Wood,
Wood. Where did the wood come from?
trees,
Trees. Where did the trees come from?
plants.
Trees came from plants.
Mm.
Okay. So we are on the track now. So another way of looking at this paper is, trees are responsible for making this paper. The soil, air and water is responsible for making trees. Yeah? Because rain falls, yeah, the soil gets wet and the plants and trees grow. Am I correct? Yeah? The rain is created by clouds. Am I correct? Yeah? The environment is responsible for making this paper. Am I right? So from my point of view, the same energy is flowing through the paper, through the trees, through the plants, through the rainwater. This is what we call in Advaitam, oneness. Everybody and everything is interconnected. It is our limited mind which does not see many things. But there is nothing in this world that is not connected to you. You are breathing now because one of the 5 elements, that is air, which we call in yoga, has sustained your breathing and made you comfortable while listening to me. This is a way of looking at things. We say, so when I look at a paper, besides whatever is written and how many folds it has, it reminds me that we are one with nature, we are one with environment, we are one with the universe. World Environment Day was celebrated on 5th of June. Please remember, we exist because the environment exists. We are all interconnected. So that was the lesson on oneness. Thank you so much. How is this useful to, big round of applause for you please. How is this useful in management? Lofty philosophy, lofty theory, oneness. In fact, a message I sent to Mr. D'Souza last evening, I told him, we are all interconnected. It is about oneness. How is this connected to management and leadership? Now that is the big question. See, when I go to the corporate world today, this is a very interesting aspect and it will bring a smile on your face again. I am training senior management people from large corporate organizations. Some of my people are in, not some, many of them are even abroad. One thing I have observed common in 95 to 99% of the organizations. What's that common thing? From the CEO to the office boy, usually 95 to 99% of them are looking forward to the weekend. When will Saturday come? When will Sunday come? I will go for a picnic, I will go for a movie, I will do this with my family, I will do that with my family. Monday is miserable. Monday is miserable. So we also ran a module saying why is Monday miserable in corporate organizations. Okay? Now you all are going to enter corporate organizations. You all have to understand 2-3 things. Monday is miserable because it is the boss versus us. In life, this phenomenon of us versus them is operating in every sphere of life. Okay? I have a simple question. Let us say we retire by the age of 60. These days people are not even retiring at 60, they are retiring at 65 or 70. And assuming we've started work at 25, these days people are even starting earlier. Okay? I started working when I was 17 in 12th standard. I started working since that age. I used to give tuitions and earn 300 rupees a month. And fortunately, even those days I was good in maths and science. So maths and science were my principal subjects. I eventually did all 6 papers maths because I hated mugging. Yeah, and I still don't mug anything. So I did all 6 papers maths. Now, in the corporate world, supposing you retire at the age of 60, no matter what your bank balance, no matter how many degrees you have, no matter how many mansions you own, and no matter how many cars, flamboyant cars outside those mansions, if you look back at 35, 40 years of your life, 5 days a week was miserable, if not 6, depending on how many holidays you have per week. The first question is, do you want a joyous life or a miserable life? No matter what the content of your life, you may be a plumber, you may be an electrician, you may be a CEO, you may be the owner of the company, that is content. The context was miserable. वो पुरानी एक गजल है, सीने में जलन आंखों में तूफान सा क्यों है, सीने में जलन आंखों में तूफान सा क्यों है, इस शहर में हर शख्स परेशान सा क्यों है. Why is everybody so restless? Why is everybody so miserable 5 days a week? Are we investing lakhs of rupees into our education to become restless? Are we investing lakhs of rupees into our training to become miserable? No. So the first thing is we all want a joyful life. So Monday should be joyful. Yeah? Today if you look at it, he or she may be a minister, he may be a CEO, he may be a toilet cleaner, a sanitation worker. Everybody is restless when they go to bed. It has got nothing to do with money, power and position. Yeah? So I tell people, your best works comes out when you are joyful. You feeling sleepy? I'm getting you in for the next experiment. Just getting the white. No, you're wide awake. Okay. So, we have to, when you're smiling, it is health for you and that energy goes around. Alright? The second thing is multitasking from management point of view. How many of you all multitask? Nobody. I'm surprised. How many of you all have heard of the word multitasking? Joshua. Joshua appears to be the enlightened guy here in the auditorium. I think you're the new Buddha. You know, I found. No, just joking. Take it easy. Yeah. So, what is multitasking according to you? Please give him a mic.
I can speak with you.
Okay, please.
Multitasking, what comes to my mind is having 2 jobs doing at the same similar time.
Do you do that?
I don't do it,
Ah.
but yes, I do. Some of the time. Yes.
Okay. You do it sometimes.
Yeah, some.
Great. Now, I want to. Yeah. Please take the mic. Please.
To experience more in marketing.
To experience more in marketing. That's your goal. And eventually, what do you become? After you gain all the experience you want, where do you go from there?
On a good position.
Good position. What's the position? This chair is not comfortable. You want a better position? What's the position? Anything you have in mind?
No, I can't think of it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Please sit. So, how many of us have heard of Usain Bolt? You heard of Usain Bolt? Yeah, I think that name is electric. Yeah, that's why we got that vibration from there. The name Usain Bolt is only electric. Yeah, it brings a spark everywhere. Good. So Usain Bolt, please stand up. So what is he known for?
He's a runner, world champion.
Olympic champion.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Now when Usain Bolt is running the 400 meters in the Olympic race, please pay careful attention to this. This can change your life if you practice this after listening to this. When Usain Bolt is running the Olympic race, it's a 400 meters track. We all have goals, but we don't know what is goal setting. Okay? When Usain Bolt is running, this is the starting point. It's a circular track. He has to come here and this is the finishing point. My question to you is, does Usain Bolt run this way? Which means he's running here, looking there, running here, looking there. Does he run that way? No. No. If he runs that way, what could happen?
He will lose.
He will lose. Why? What happened?
He will not look at the step coming forward or the next step he'll have to take to win the race. Because it is in circles, you'll have to look at the next step he'll take.
What is the management lesson you get from that? Now,
One step
sports-
at a time.
Now we are connecting sports and management. This is very important for your life. Yeah.
One step at a time.
One step at a time. Any other lessons which made Hussein Bolt an Olympic champion?
Complete focus on the next step.
Absolutely. Very good. Your answers are very much on target. I'll give you a little more perspective on that. Thank you so much. A big round of applause for him, please. Yeah, Joshua, you want to say something?
I would just add on this point.
Yes.
You need to win it in your mind
Win it in your mind.
first.
Okay.
Then you win the race.
Excellent. That is also a very good point. Now I'll tell you the most, all these are perfect points and good points, so we should applaud them for it. I'll tell you one more thing. I'm adding one more perspective to it. In yoga, we call this intensity of involvement. Okay? Now what happens is, once people set goals, they are constantly thinking about the goal. Yeah? I want to become let's say, vice president in a large corporate organization. I want to become the president. Now this goal is playing on their mind 24/7. So what happens? It is like Hussein Bolt. He has to run this path, but he's looking here constantly. So we tell people, once you identify your goals, drop it. Don't let it play on your mind 24/7. With complete intensity of involvement, negotiate the path. Drop the goal. Otherwise, you are eternally living in the future. You are eternally living in the future, and if you are eternally living in the future, like the three scientists were on the railway platform, they were living in the future of their rocket launch, which was going to happen 6 months later. They missed the train. What is future? Future is the child, present is the mother. You want a healthy child, but you don't want to pay attention to the health of the mother. Will you have a healthy child? If you pay attention to the health of the mother, if you pay attention to the process, the natural consequence is a healthy child. So just pay attention to the present, and we say, this is what we call is the eternal now. You are in this lecture, pay careful attention to every word. Don't worry about what it will do for you in the future. Right now, with complete attention and focus, be in the now, be in the present. Yeah? So this is what we call in yoga is goal setting. So if I start thinking what is happening in my company now, which employee is doing what, I was supposed to sign a business contract yesterday, the contract has not yet been signed, I am supposed to give another 3 lectures in the next 3 days, what am I going to speak there? This lecture will be gone. Because I am not here in the present at all, I am in the future. If I am worried about what impression who will carry home about me as a speaker, somebody may say he was like this, somebody may say he was like that, somebody may say he was damn good, somebody may say he was terrible. If I live in that impression about what they are going to think of me, this lecture, this energy cannot happen. It simply cannot happen. I am completely in the present. I know only one thing. I have to give my 200% to every interaction. What they absorb and what they don't absorb, and how they apply, and what they think of me or what they don't think of me is not in my hands. I have to focus with what is in my hands. So this is called goal setting. So when you are setting goals in large corporate organizations, this mistake is made. 24/7, they are putting up posters on your wall saying this target, this has to be achieved, that has to be achieved, you are eternally in the future. They keep you eternally in the future. So don't make this mistake. We have corrected this, called this particular aspect in large corporate organizations. And I tell them, introduce one more index in your organization. I am suggesting to you also, Mr. D'Souza. We all know GDP. What is GDP? Anybody knows? You are going to be MBAs, gross domestic production. Yeah? That's the index for the economy of the country. I am giving you an index for your life. What is that? GHI, Gross Happiness Index. Keep a GHI in your life in every organization, and you will see if people are more happy, you automatically get better results. And when you take exams for the students, I will close now in 5 minutes. Do one more thing with them. I am giving a suggestion to the management. See, today if the paper is economics, or tomorrow the paper is economics, Joshua will prepare for economics for tomorrow. Tomorrow is 20th June. he will say 20th June my economics paper, I have to remember everything and reproduce it as accurately as possible. 21st if I forget it is okay. Because the paper is over. Yeah? So, this is the problem. Has COVID given us a timetable when it will come and go? Does anybody have a timetable of COVID when it is going to come next? Or nobody wants it to come next, but has it given you a timetable? Does life ever give you a timetable for any incidents that may happen in your life? No. You have to be eternally prepared. So I am suggesting Mr. D'Souza, tell them we have a picnic tomorrow and take their exam. And the next time you tell them we have an exam tomorrow and take them for a picnic. That way you will prepare them for life. Otherwise they are prepared for that subject on that day only. They are not prepared for life. They know after 20th, if I forget economics, it's fine. I have given my exam, whatever I remember I have reproduced. 21st, if I forget, it's okay now. So I suggest this in all schools and colleges. Tell them we'll go for a picnic and there tell them, by the way, we decided to have an exam also. We felt it's a good atmosphere for an exam to be held now. And when you tell them you are taking them for an exam, you have an exam, take them for a picnic. So that way they know Mr. D'Souza is unpredictable. You know, they may not like you for some time, but after some time when they grow bigger, they'll like you a lot. They'll say, this man, Mr. D'Souza, prepared us for life. And trust me, this is the only way you can grow in life. So be eternally prepared. The last thing I'm going to close with, and then we'll keep it open for questions and answers if any. This is directly connected to the corporate culture which I spoke to you about. All of you must Google Steve Jobs' last letter. So, how many of us have heard of Steve Jobs? Nobody's heard of Steve Jobs? One small hand popping up. Yes, I'm lucky this morning. Please, stand up. What's your name?
Ritika.
Ritika. What have you heard of Steve Jobs?
He's the owner of Apple.
Okay. Do you own an iPhone?
Yes.
Great. No wonder you know him. Yeah. And what else has Steve Jobs done?
I don't know much about him, but I know that he's the owner of Apple.
Okay. So he was one of the most successful people in the corporate world. He was what we call is the epitome of success. High up there. And I won't read out, this I'm reading out from Google. Any of you all can Google it. Okay? His last letter. And this is my final message to all of you all. Then we'll keep it open for questions and answers if anything. This letter of Steve Jobs is something that I want to read out to you all. Okay? So here it goes. Where is my... Okay. Yeah. Just bear with me for a minute. And all of you all can open the letter on your respective phones while I do it. Yeah. Okay. Steve Jobs. He died a billionaire at 56 years of pancreatic cancer. At the age of 56, Steve Jobs, a billionaire, one of the most successful figures in the global corporate world. Okay, he was a global icon. Yeah? And here are his last words on his sick bed. I reached the pinnacle of success. Now I'm reading Steve Jobs directly what he has written. And incidentally, when he was on his deathbed due to pancreatic cancer, he was reading a book on yoga. Okay, that is also documented. But here are his last words. I reached the pinnacle of success in the business world. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. In others' eyes, my life is an epitome of success. However, aside from work, I have little joy. However, aside from work, I have little joy. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life. In the end, wealth is only a fact of life. that I am accustomed to. At this moment, lying on the sick bed and recalling my whole life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in have paled and become meaningless in the face of impending death. All the wealth, fame and glory that I acquired have become meaningless. Okay? Material things lost can be found, but there is one thing that can never be found when it is lost, and that is life. You can employ someone to drive the car for you, make money for you, but you cannot have someone to bear the sickness for you. Yeah? When a person goes into the operating room, he will realize that there is one book that he has yet to finish reading, the book of a healthy life. I can go on and on about Steve Jobs, it's a long letter, but the bottom line, just to sum it up, you all can read it at your own free time. The letter is available on Google. Brings me to the point which I made earlier. The context of your life is more important than the content of your life. It is important that we live a joyful life every single day. Yeah? Whatever you do it with complete intensity of involvement and keep a smile on your face. These days, if I show the faces of successful businessmen to a 5-year-old child, suppose there's a successful multi-billionaire in India, I don't want to name a few people, but if I show their face to a 5-year-old child, now the 5-year-old child does not know which car he has come by. The 5-year-old child does not know what is the designation on his card. Is he chairman, or is he founder, or is he managing director? The 5-year-old child, in its innocence, if you ask the child, how does he look like to you? The child may say, he looks like the hero of a horror film. He is worried. If he smiles, will the share market fall or will it rise? And if this lady comes in front of me, how much should I smile? If I smile this much, it may be below my status and stature. I am the chairman. So I better just give a slight grin and move ahead. That will be befitting for my stature. So I tell people, please smile. It is health for you. When you frown, it is disease for you. So please smile for the sake of your own health. And every day when you come to office, like Steve Jobs also, the essence of what he's trying to convey is, I fought with people, I got angry on my fellow employees, I was a hard taskmaster, and I thought I was doing something fantastic. But indirectly what he's telling you is, I produced cancer for myself. And on that deathbed of pancreatic cancer, if you give him a trade-off, you tell him, Steve Jobs, suppose I give you your health back and I take all your wealth from you, is it acceptable? He will not bat an eyelid to say, please take it immediately, give me my health back. So, understand life with a vision. Yeah. Conduct yourself with joy. What is cancer? Cancer is your body cells rebelling against you because you have treated them miserably. They believe you have treated them miserably, so they are rebelling against you. Your body cells are supposed to be working for you, but now they are working against you because they believe you have treated them miserably. And how do you treat them miserably? You treat them miserably by remaining frustrated, by complaining about life. People are terrible, the world is terrible, everything is terrible. I am the only, nice guy around in this entire world, and I am the only guy who's going to make things happen. I have such terrible bosses, I have such terrible teachers, I have such terrible, colleagues and friends. When I go to sessions and I ask them, how many people love you? I ask a question sometimes, how many people love you? The answer I usually get is, my friend loves me this much, but maybe not that much. With my parents, I can go this far, but maybe not that far. With my teachers, I can take this much liberty, but maybe not that much liberty. But when I ask them how many people hate you, they have 20 names ready in 10 seconds. They are absolutely sure of who hates them. So what has happened? The people whom you think hate you are occupying maximum space in your mind. And if we have a house which is empty, we will not give it to anybody without charging a rent for it. But the mind space, which is more important than the space in our house, We give it free to anybody and everybody. We go and watch a movie where there is violence, murder, rape. The director has hijacked our mind space, made you go through a series of negative emotions, and you paid him $1,000 for that popcorn and for that ticket, and you've come back, and he's hijacked your mind space and made you run through a series of negative emotions. मैं लोगों को बोलता हूँ, if you watch सास बहू serials every day, I have nothing against Ekta Kapoor. Yeah, she's a very nice, dynamic lady. But if you watch saas bahu serials every day, gradually the environment in the house will also become of saas bahu. Gradually, it will take some time, 6 months or a year. I have not watched a movie for the last 13-14 years of my life because I don't give my mind space free to anybody. I want to choose which subject I want to pay attention to and whom will I give my mind space to. Yeah? So the next time you go for your favorite hero or heroine's movie, think about this. They are making you go, because when you see all that things on the screen, I'll tell you another thing which is happening when you go to a movie. We don't fall in love with real life characters very fast, real life 3-dimensional characters, but we fall in love with 2-dimensional screen characters immediately. What happened? What happened? Well, it's a simple trick of concentration. When you go into the theater, they first switch off the lights. Yeah? So even if you look left, right, there's not much you can see. Maybe only the person sitting next to you, here and there. Beyond that, you cannot see. So your complete focus and attention is on the screen. So you immediately fall in love with the hero, and the boys immediately fall in love with the heroine. Because complete attention is on her for the next 2 or 3 hours. But in real life, there are so many beautiful people and wonderful people around us. They are real life 3-dimensional characters. We don't fall in love so easily with them. I am telling you, concentrate on an ant for 20 minutes, how it's moving, how it is collecting its food, how carefully they follow the line discipline, the cue discipline. You will fall in love with an ant also. Such a hard-working organism and so dedicated and committed. So that's it. So I wish you all a wonderful life and thank you so much for listening to me. I've taken a fair amount of time from each one of you this morning. I hope each one of you has picked up something relevant which will take you far in life. If you have any questions, I'm open to that. Yeah?
We would like to request Neeta ma'am to provide a token of gratitude to sir.
सर सेंटर में थोड़ा सा ये सर ये सर
What is the branding?
हाँ
Absolutely.
नहीं भाई 1 मिनट नीचे बैठो सर एक वीडियो के लिए ओके सर थैंक्स सर ले ले लो
हो गया बोला
Yes, nice way, yes, sir.
Great, sir.
Sir, yeah, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Mr. Vivek Shetty. I guess you guys enjoyed the morning, enjoyed the session. A lot of takeaways in the first day itself. Okay, so being present here to raise a vote of thanks on behalf of the management, trustees, the faculty members, and all the people gathered around over here, also you students. I would like to thank Mr. Vivek Shetty for being here, sharing his knowledge. I guess it was a lot of takeaways for you for the next 2 years. And this is how what we were talking about during our interactions in the last couple of months, that this is what is necessary for you. Books is okay, that's important, lectures are important, but connecting with the corporate world, with people like Mr. Shetty and Altamash is very important. So this is what we'll be doing in the coming 2 years. A lot of exposure for you to take off. I would also like to thank you and your parents for believing in Aditya School of Business Management and taking admission in this college. We will definitely try to fulfill all your dreams, aspirations, not just placements, but with the next 2 years journey, whatever you feel is required, we as faculty and team and the management will look that we fulfill your dreams. Okay, thank you so much for being present over here, and hopefully you will have good sessions in the coming week in the Prabandhan. Okay, thank you so much.
Request students to wait till the dignitaries leave.
Students want photographs. Someone will come front. Come. Yeah, come. Yeah, come front.
इसमें मिल रहा है
You guys can measure yourself on the day one and the last day.
इसमें ले लो अभी
Okay.
I really missed out on thanking the press. Thank you so much, press people, for coming here. Thank you very much. Please join us.
I thoroughly enjoyed myself this morning interacting with the students and the management and faculty of the Aditya School of Business Management here in Borivali. It was a wonderful experience to interact with young minds, understand how they think. These are the leaders of tomorrow. These are the change makers of tomorrow. So it is my pleasure completely to be interacting with them and sharing my experience over the years on certain wonderful achievements that mankind has managed to accomplish and some more things which need to be accomplished in the near future. I believe these students are extremely bright, extremely intelligent, and they can think for themselves and move ahead. So our attempt this morning through the session was to stimulate their thought, make them think in a few directions which they have probably not thought about before, open them to a few more perspectives which are sometimes even beyond curriculum and syllabus. So we've gone into the aspects of mind management and energy management, which is not part of curriculum and syllabus anywhere in the world. But I hope these experiences will stay with the students for a lifetime. I hope the stories and the pointers that we've shared with them will help them in their way ahead, in their career ahead. I'm sure all of them have a glorious career ahead of them in the corporate world and in any other field that they choose. My humble attempt this morning has been to set them think in the right directions, to open them to a few more dynamic perspectives of life, which are truly life transforming. So it was indeed a wonderful experience. The energy rub-off works both ways. When we conduct motivational sessions, we not only motivate the audience in front of us, but we are motivated ourselves to live up to those standards that we set in our interactions. It was a wonderful energy interaction, and I thank the management of the Aditya School of Business Management and the faculty and all the students for providing me this wonderful opportunity to interact with all of them. Thank you so much.
On behalf of the management of Aditya School of Business Management, faculty, staff and students, I would sincerely like to thank Mr. Vivek Shetty for coming over here on the first day of the students' gathering, that's Prabandhan 2023, and sharing his experience, not just textbooks experience, but even out of textbook, what students can do. And I think it's a lot of things for the students which can take away from here and in their journey for the next 2 years. Thank you so much, Mr. Shetty, and the management for providing this platform. Thank you.